Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. I thought I would show a process that I'm using to build a web app, which I'm really enjoying. And I'm going to just kind of go through it and then I'll explain it later, um, or explain things as I'm going on. So right now I'm in the middle of NotebookLM, and I've given it research to do, and I have a prompt that I give it. And the prompt will identify the next author. Okay. And then there's one more edit to here. All right. I need to make. All right, there. All right. So what this will do is this is going to generate the next stanza of JSON. So JSON is a data structure that's widely used in things like web apps. All right, so here's my JSON structure. Okay, so I'm going to copy this into VS Code. All right, and I only have one more to do, and I'm done. Okay, so go back, and I'll do the next one, 7F. All right, so I'm just grabbing this prompt, and so the prompt, I'll read the prompt, at least enough of it to get an idea of what it's doing. Okay. So the prompt says, focusing especially on the author James Allison and his discussion of the concept human nature and transformation within loaded sources, please identify 3 key insights. That's the main part of the prompt. And then it's sticking that, and then it'll format that into this JSON. Okay, and then I'll take the JSON and I'm adding it to the structure that I have. And I haven't tried, I'm doing this step by step. It might be able to do the whole thing as one big prompt. I don't know. But I thought a prudent way to do it is just to try to move it along little by little. But you can see this is very quick for me to do, to build this JSON. So I'll show the JSON here. So I save it. I'll show how the app works. Okay, so the app I already had built, and the app is a data-driven app. So here's the app, and I will, okay, I guess it's already automatically loading it. So I just added item 7, that's this one. So this, whoops, I made a mistake. I did James Allison twice. All right, so that should have been Alistair McIntosh. All right, so that'll be good just to show this. We'll pretend like I did it on purpose. Okay, so what I really should have said was Alistair McIntosh. So I'm just going to copy this, and I will fix my error. Okay, have it rerun it. And explain the app while it's doing this. Okay. So I got the idea for doing this from watching a YouTube video where the fellow doing the video was showing how to build a web app from using NotebookLM. And the way he did it was he's a lot more familiar with the tool, NotebookLM, than I am. So it was a lot larger scope than what he was doing. But I used the kind of the same concept, um, where my idea was, well, I already have an app that's data driven, so I don't need to have it build an app. So what he did was he got like all of the source material and then like had it write a prompt that he would use to build an app. And I thought, well, that's actually hard. Well, all of this stuff is hard, but the fact that I already had an app that's data driven made it a lot easier because all I need is to be able to build this JSON structure, and then it'll work. And so, because I already did the hard part, so now this is just getting the JSON here, and now I fixed it. So I will go here and fix the JSON. And I actually skipped a step here, which turned out not mattering. What I usually do is I'll validate the JSON, because there's a tool for doing that, a free online thing called JSON. I don't know how you pronounce it, JSON lint, I guess. Anyway, you can use this to validate JSON. So I skipped that step and went straight to the app, and here it is. So let's see if it's fixed now. Okay, so I put in the right author there. Okay, and then it's got the information here. And the app itself is kind of an interesting exercise. I actually have talked about that in previous YouTube videos, but I showed the part that I wanted to show, which was just to describe the idea is build a totally data-driven app driven by JSON, and then have NotebookLM, and I'm not, this isn't a tutorial on NotebookLM, so I'm assuming that that you know how to use that. Anyway, you can have it build the JSON. And what I was actually doing first was I was copying and pasting stuff to another AI to do it. And then I thought, well, I wonder if it can do it, because the hesitation was, well, it's been built specifically for the function of summarizing sources and working with sources, and it's not like a general chat box. But it looked to me like it did it without any problem at all. So I might actually try to have it do like more, like do a whole section instead of doing one at a time. But even the way I was doing it, that worked really nicely. I used another AI to build a prompt that I gave it, just copy and paste the prompt. And then actually the AI helped me with the whole process, because what it did was it gave me the initial, here, let me show this. I'll show this here. So it gave an initial prompt, which was to show a list of authors for a given subject. So the idea was I gave the AI, so the AI I used was Gemini, but it would work with any AI. They're all good enough to do this, Claude or ChatGPT or Grok, any of these. So what I did was I showed it how the app worked and the structure of the JSON, and then brainstormed with it how to use the information from NotebookLM in a way that would work to be displayed well within this framework. And it came up with a prompt to ask NotebookLM to identify what are the authors used in the notebook, and what are the concepts that were discussed. And so I'll show here. So if I go to the first one here, you can see there's a list of 7 authors. But if I go to a different concept, then you'll see that there's only 2. And so it worked all of that out and then built a template prompt, which I used to, I was doing this in 2 steps. Actually, what I was doing was I would give it this prompt here, focusing specifically on this author, write out the insights. And I was giving this to Gemini and having it write the JSON. And then I thought, well, I wonder if I could just give it, do it in Notebook LM and have it do the whole thing. And Gemini was a little bit skittish of it, but it actually handled it no problem. Did it very quickly. And so I'm thinking I might try to, like I said, maybe see if it can do. I'm doing this one at a time, where you can see what I did. I went in, put the author, and change it, and change the ID, and generate the JSON stanzas one by one, plug it in. I suspect it could do the whole thing. I'm my guess is at least 80% chance that you could build a super prompt, and just have it crank through the whole thing, give you the entire JSON in one fell swoop. I think it could do that. I'm not sure. I'll have to give it a try. But anyway, just doing it this way, iteratively, works really, really well. I was really happy with it. Able to crank out an app in a few hours, uh, where we're not too far off to where it ought to be able to do the whole thing. Well, like I said, maybe it can. I'll have to give it a try to see if it can just do it, just write the whole JSON in one fell swoop. To give that a try. Anyway, I thought this was a cool concept. Really liked it a lot. And thanks for watching. And until next time.